Fussy. Who hired this crew?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
Show me the money! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
Yeah. I thought this was good.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
I apologize to everybody. Hopefully that wasn't the worst for everybody. It played double for me. So sorry about that if that's what happened. Also, this is a kids movie about with some defenestration in it. So tonight we're talking about Matilda. Sorry, I feel like I'm off now. A lot of stuff has happened in the last like 5 minutes, and I am off.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I promise, welcome in everybody to this episode of 52/1996, a live movie conversation podcast, where we rewind the clock and dig into the films of 1996, one movie at a time. I'm your host, Cody, and this week I am joined by the wonderful Alyssa as we break down the movie Matilda. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome in. I again apologize. This is not normally how it goes when we first do the intros and everything, but we're happy that you're here. And the idea is pretty simple. Every week for 52 weeks, we revisit a different movie released in the year 1996. It's been 30 years, so we want to celebrate and celebrate the 30th anniversary of some of these films. We're talking legacy, we're talking vibes, performances, trivia, and sometimes if the movie still holds up to this day. And this season, we're kicking things off with a theme. We usually do these themed months. Sometimes they go shorter than a month. Sometimes they're longer. But for this month of January, we've kicked things off with our theme of villain era for kids, spotlighting kids' movies from 1996 that had amazing villains that stole the show. But before we jump right into Matilda and all the fun things and getting our categories and everything, let me ask you, Alyssa, have you ever seen Matilda before?
I actually haven't. Which is surprise. Like, this is a movie that I definitely would have loved as a child, and this was my first watch.
I've liked doing the movies with you because you know them. Sometimes it's weird to do a kids movie and watch it as an adult, and to see like what kind of reaction you have around that. You hadn't seen this, but have you seen any other? You've seen other like Roald Dahl. I guess what are they called?
Movie adaptations?
Adaptations. I'm struggling. Thank you.
It's okay. I distinctly remember reading the BFG as a kid, and I've definitely watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but both versions, the Johnny Depp and the original. Have not seen the newest musical one.
And you have also seen James and the Giant Peach, correct?
I've seen James and the Giant Peach, yes.
Yes.
Is that Roald Dahl?
Yes, it is.
He did so much.
It's a big year for Roald Dahl here in 1996. The other movies that were adapted of his are The Witches, which I can't imagine that you've seen The Witches.
I have not, neither the original or the new version with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah. The Witches terrified me as a kid. The Twits, I think there was an adaptation that came out a few years ago. BFG, there's been an adaptation of that as well. I'm trying to think, is Fantastic Mr. Fox, is that one?
I've seen it.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is a novel by Roald Dahl. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's out there that we might have missed. I don't think so. I think that's it. That have been, and of course Wes Anderson did all those like short films a couple years ago on Netflix. Those are all, I'm pretty sure all those are Roald Dahl films. So, or not films, adaptations. So you've seen a few, and you kind of, I mean, I always think that he has like a darker tone in his books. and doesn't just like, I don't know, I don't feel like it's very cookie cutter, like something very happy all the time. I don't know. There's something I like about it. And there's something that I really like about Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all the ones that we just named. There's a darkness to them. Not a darkness that's like evil or sinister or something like that, but like almost like a reality, I would say.
I will say, I was terrified of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as a kid. That movie, I considered that a horror movie as a child.
Which one? Both of them?
The original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. No, I thought the Johnny Depp one. I was much older when that came out, and I just kind of find him to be odd. But the original. I remember like as a child, and this is why I'm like not a fun kid. But I remember watching it and being like, who is going to save these children? People are dying. And I was terrified. Like the kid getting sucked up into the chocolate tube. I said, well, he's drowned. He drowned. There's no, like, he just drowned and he just died. I just witnessed a murder. And then when she blew up, Violet blows up into a blueberry. That was when I had to turn it off. I said, I'm done. I can't. It was, you know what? I would compare me as a child watching the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to me as an adult attempting to watch The Menu.
Oh, okay.
And I said, not for me.
I feel like you're just like super concerned about people's well-being in these fictional movies.
As a kid, I'm like, so these people died. Like, I am watching torture in a way. And like, I mean, like, watching The Menu, it is like funny. There's an undertone of funny to it. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm just watching a man just like slowly be lowered to his death while wearing angel wings, like while everyone screams and freaks out and they can't do anything about it. I think that's the thing that like is the thing in my brain where I'm like, there's nothing being done. People are screaming, freaking out, hey, don't do this, and there is just zero concern by the quote unquote bad guy, whether it's Willy Wonka or the chef in The Menu.
Yeah.
I'm a fun hang.
We learn a lot about you every time that you come on here. So it's wonderful. No, the only reason I bring it up is because they are as a darker undertone. You were a little hesitant to even watch this movie, even though it is a children's movie and we've been doing nothing but villains. We watched a pretty dark movie last week with The Hunchback of Notre Dame and that villain there. But you knew some parts of this. Of course, there's the musical version of this that has come out. You knew the parts of this movie, and were your expectation, not that you had expectations, was it as bad as you thought it was going to? Like, was it as traumatizing as you thought it was going to be?
It was not. I thought it was going to be much worse. There were a couple scenes that I thought were going to be a lot worse, and they ended up not freaking me out or making me upset, or I don't like again, like we talked about this. This is not a pairing by any means, but like when we watched Major Payne last year, I was like, this is child abuse. Does no one care? Like, this whole movie is about child abuse. And this movie is also essentially about child abuse, but there's like a little whimsy to it. So it like softens the blow a little bit.
Well, it's because I think this is it. And I think you bring up a really great point about the Major Payne in this movie. Like, Major Payne is a movie about child abuse, but the hero is the person that is that is abusing children.
Yes.
In this movie, the villains are the ones that are doing the child abuse in this, and then they get their comeuppance. Kind of, you have good characters, and there's like a revenge arc to this. This is like the Kill Bill of children's.
There's autonomy. This is the Kill Bill of children's movies. Clip it. That's it. That's the title. Matilda. Kill Bill.
That's gonna be one of the chapters on Spotify when it creates all my chapters for me. For me. The Kill Bill of children's movies.
There's also a sense of autonomy. Like, Matilda can save herself. That she is not helpless. She is hopeful, and again, there's a revenge arc in like the cutest way possible. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Well, let's learn a little bit more before we get into our categories for discussion, because I'm sure we'll have some things to discuss. There's Some facts around this movie that are kind of heartbreaking and very sad, but in a also good heart touching kind of way too. So we'll get into that. Anyway, the name of the movie today that we're talking about is Matilda. It came out a day before my birthday, August 2nd, 1996. This was directed, sorry, by Danny DeVito, and it was written by Elia Kazan's son, Nicholas Kazan, and Robin Swicord, based on the novel Matilda by Roald Dahl. The cast includes Mara Wilson as Matilda Wormwood, Beth Davids as Jennifer Honey, or Miss Honey, Danny DeVito as Harry Wormwood, also serving as the narrator for this film, Rhea Perlman, his wife, as Zinnia Wormwood, his wife, Pam Ferris as Miss Trunchbull, Brian Levinson as Michael Wormwood, her her older brother. Paul Rubens and Tracy Walter are in this movie as Bob and Bill, the cops of this film. And then, of course, there's, some of the children and everything. But that's our main cast that we have here. And the synopsis for this film, the film adaptation of a Roald Dahl work, tells the story of Matilda Wormwood, a gifted girl forced to put up with a crude, distant father and mother. Worse, Agatha Trunchbull, the evil principal at Matilda's school, is a terrifyingly strict bully. However, when Matilda realizes she has the power of telekinesis, she begins to defend her friends from Trunchbull's wrath and fight back against her unkind parents. This movie had a budget of $36 million and didn't quite do as well at the box office, although it had pretty high acclaim. It only made $47 million at the box office, but this one is one that really killed it on VHS sales and rentals and everything. It really kind of developed its following based on those. So it did earn its money back pretty well. Like I said about the reviews and everything for this movie, Rotten Tomatoes has this at 92%, IMDb at a 7 out of 10, and Letterboxd at a 3.8 out of 5. Roger Ebert liked this movie. He said he gave it 3 out of 4 stars. He said, "There's never a moment, except toward the happy ending, that we sense DeVito is anything other than quite serious about this material. He goes with Dahl's macabre vision, whatever it was that hurt Dahl so deeply, he never forgave it. And his children's stories, like James and the Giant Peach and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, are driven by it. DeVito seems to vibrate on the same wavelength. Matilda doesn't condescend to children. It doesn't sentimentalize. And as a result, it feels heartfelt and sincere. It's funny, too." David Butterworth has a little bit of a counter argument here. He said he gave it 2.5 out of 4. So still not the worst review. It was hard to find a really bad review of this one. It says the adult performers fare considerably better than the young lead in this faithful adaptation of the Roald Dahl classic. So just knocking on the children there. Only a slight, legacy for this one. I'm sure it was nominated for some children's movie awards, but no Academy Awards, anything like that. It does get adapted into a musical in 2022. And there's a musical film based on it, I guess, based on the musical, which is probably more like the book than anything. I think this is a pretty good interpretation of the book. So I wouldn't say it's a true adaptation of the movie, as more it is just of the source material. So, all right. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about it. What are some of the scenes that pop out to you or really stuck out when watching this movie?
It was hard to pick a first scene. I actually picked the ending scenes and worked backwards to the front, because there's a lot that happens at the beginning. That's a lot of just information gathering. But I kind of start with Matilda gets to go to school. She is a bright kid. She loves the library. She loves reading. She is very advanced. And when she begs her parents to go to school, and they're like, "No, you have to stay home and get the packages," which is wild. But when she gets to go, she's just so thrilled, and she immediately makes friends, and she immediately learns what the rules are, and gets to meet Miss Honey. And it was just, what a day. What a great day for Matilda.
Yeah. And probably kind of freakish to children that are watching, oh, this girl wants to go to school. I'd love to stay home and just get packages all day or watch TV all day. but Matilda wants to learn, and we see that as Danny DeVito's narrating over the first part of this movie while she's growing up to that point. And we get a few different actresses portraying little Matilda, who I think is very cute. I like the whole library, like her going to the library and stuff. I remember being that kid, like a nerdy kid, and wanting to go to the library all the time. And it being such a treat to go to the library. But
I loved reading. I loved books. I still love books, but I would just devour them as a kid.
Yeah, I love that this movie is just all about Matilda reading. Like she gets everything from that. She'll read magazines. She would read books. The lady at the library is like, hey, you can take these home with you. I love that little interaction that she has there. And Matilda growing up and taking her little red wagon filled with books back to her home, and then we never see her without a book. I feel like the movie. So, no, I like that first part. I like her going to school and meeting those friends. And like you said, we get a lot of exposition here. Just like, hey, this is how this is going to be. Your parents suck. This school's principal sucks. Everything's kind of out to get you. So. Read every book in the kids section in 2 weeks.
I think she did. That was part of it.
Yeah.
Because then she started moving on to travel books, and there is a piece later. I think actually what is my next scene is when she discovers her powers. That, she's reading at home and her family's watching TV, and Danny DeVito's like, what are you reading? And she's like, Moby Dick. And he's like, Moby what? And he like rips the book, and she's like, that's not mine. That's the library's. But she's reading Moby Dick. Like, that's crazy. And, he forces her to watch the TV, and he's like, you're part of our family. You need to act like it. And the escalation is crazy.
That's one of those moments where like we said, like this child abuse in this movie, and it is like verbal and not much physical. I mean, Trunchbull does a lot of physical abuse here. But like him grabbing her head in that scene and like forcing her to watch it's very like Clockwork Orange, where they're like keeping that guy's eyes open and forcing him to watch what's on the screen. That's what it felt like to me. As I was watching that. I did not like that. Like, obviously, we're not supposed to like that, but they were laughing. Yeah, they were laughing so hard at the least funny show, which was like I can't even remember what the name of the show was. Like the
Sticky something.
Sticky Millions or something like that.
Yeah, they covered themselves in honey and then go into a money booth.
Yeah, and try and catch the money with their bodies and being sticky and whatnot. So fun.
Cool.
I'd play. That sounds awesome. I feel like I am the Wormwoods. I just want to sit there and watch TV. I love reading, but if you would have told me, hey, we're just going to watch TV all the time as a kid, that's probably what I would have done. So, but yeah, Matilda, like, is this before or after Matilda starts getting revenge on her, on her dad, like with the glue and the hair dye? And
I think that's after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't really know how to control it until she gets angry, right?
Well, the anger is what fuels it. And because she does all those things. I forgot that she pulls those pranks on her dad, where she puts stuff in his shampoo and it bleaches his hair, and then she puts glue in his hat and it sticks to his head. And because she was taught that, hey, if you're a bad person, you need to be taught a lesson. And she's like, all right, well, my parents are bad people, so I'm going to be teaching them some lessons. And it wasn't until that moment in front of the TV where he grabs her head and forces her to watch it that she gets so angry that the television explodes.
That's right. Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how, but I did that.
Yeah. And she doesn't realize it until later, like at school, when I think something else happens. She gets angry at Miss Trunchbull, I think, and something blows up, or I can't remember at this point. But then she goes back home and she's like, Dad, yell at me.
Yes.
And that's when she shuts the door in his face with her mind powers.
Yes.
And
it's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. What else do you have?
I go all the way to breaking into Trunchbull's house.
Okay, so um, the first time or when she goes back
The first time.
with Miss Honey?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we learn a little bit about Miss Honey. That used to be her house, her dad's house, and now Miss Trunchbull lives there. And they like break in and they go into Miss Honey's old room. They find her old doll, but then Miss Trunchbull comes back because her car sucks that Matilda's dad sold her,
Mm-hmm.
and knows that there's someone in her house, and these two have to like escape. And that was like genuinely like when we talk about laugh, cry, scare, thrill, I was like, are they gonna get caught? It's like if they're caught, they are dead. So
It's a very intricate house, the way that they have it set up. Like they do like a circle. Like she goes down the back into the kitchen. The kitchen's locked up from the back door. Then she has to go back upstairs, and then they do it all again. And
Mhm.
I like the layout of their house. I do feel like I understand how everything is connected in that house with its like
Yes.
architecture and stuff, which is so weird and silly of me. But like I felt like I was like, no, I get it. Because sometimes like sets are a little confusing.
Yeah.
You watch a sitcom and you're like, hey, where does that go? Like that doesn't go anywhere. That's a weird hallway. Or like you're watching The Shining. That hotel doesn't make any sense the way that they're set up there. So no, it's interesting about that. And we get we get a lot of information about Miss Honey in that situation, and like with the chocolates and that her dad used to split with her, and what he used to call her. Wait, no, we didn't find that out yet, but we just know that Trunchbull is her aunt.
Yes.
And a lot of good stuff.
And basically took the house and kicked her out.
Yeah.
And was super abusive to her then and continues to be abusive to her now. And now she lives in a little cottage for $50 a month. That's her rent, by the way. That is her rent.
I don't know how big that house is though.
It's a shed.
It's a shed.
It's a cottage, but it's a like gardening shed.
Yeah, it's tiny. That's a tiny place. But if it has, I mean, one bed, one bath, that's all you need, right?
Right.
In a little cute cottage with a lot of flowers around, and
yes,
it's very Miss Honey coded.
Yes, Miss Honey invented cottagecore.
She's a cozy gamer.
Yes.
Yeah, so they get to her house, they break out. Miss Trunchbull doesn't catch them. She has a very good sniffer though. I don't know what she's sniffing. Do you think it's Miss Honey?
Or Matilda, because she gets I guess Matilda goes back. Miss Honey's like, you can never go back. Like,
never
do not go
in
in
that
there.
house. Yeah.
Never go in that house again. And Matilda's like, I won't go in the house. I'll just go back to the house and teleport that little doll out of there. And that's exactly what she does. And also plays this like prank, because we find out that Miss Trunchbull is superstitious and afraid of things like ghosts and black cats, and plays this prank on her and gets the doll and also steals 2 chocolates but accidentally leaves her bow behind. Her ribbon bow, because it gets pulled out from her hair. And yeah, Miss Trunchbull smells it. I think Miss Trunchbull has rat-like qualities. Like in her, like she reminds me a lot. Like again, I don't know if it's like the shape of her face with her nose, and they go her up. They really, because you see that actress, and I'm like, she doesn't look like that at all. But she like smells it, and I was like, is she supposed to like emulate like a mouse or a rat? With the sniffing. I don't know why. That was what I thought.
Yeah. The only reason I thought maybe it was like a Miss Honey thing is just because she knows what Miss Honey's like perfumes, and like you just think that Miss Honey smells like fresh baked cookies or something.
Yes, like wildflowers and honey and cookies.
Yes, that is her vibe. That's what I get from her.
Yes. Also, there's a lot of sniffing this month. That is a second movie in a row where there is sniffing, and
I'm trying to think if there are any in the first 2. I mean, there's dogs; they sniff.
Yes. I don't think there's any in Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island, is there any sniffing in there?
I don't think so.
That's okay. Maybe next time. What about, how do you feel about the cake eating scene? Because this was the scene that I think you were the most worried about.
Yeah, I've got a thing about food as a punishment. I do not like. I mean, Miss Trunchbull is just like top tier child abuser, like and like creative in the way that she abuses children. I will give her that. But yeah, making that kid eat a whole cake and then a second entire giant cake, like, oh, even like talking about it makes me want to vomit. Like
Yeah.
it is a level of abuse that is psychological that and physical that is so horrific. I didn't freak out when we watched the scene, but that
I,
is the scene that has prevented me from watching this movie for
and
years.
I think what prevented, like, I think that scene didn't show a lot of actual eating in it.
Yeah, it didn't.
It just shows like the cake being cut, and like it's like a montage, so you don't
Yeah.
actually see him eating every single piece.
Right. And then and then it gets towards the end where Matilda's like, "Come on!" And they're like,
Come
"Cheer,
on,
you
Brucey."
can do it!" And he's like, "I can do it." And it doesn't look, he doesn't seem to be
Bothered
in
by it,
pain
yeah.
or bothered. He's like, "This is a challenge that I'm willing to take on." So he kind of wins in that sense. So to me, it's not too bad. But it is, I watch that and I just go, like it does like kind of gross me out a lot.
Yeah,
Again, it's the psychological on top of the physical.
yeah. And I think him like conquering it, and like you said, the kids all rally behind him and start chanting his name, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got a great name, Bruce Bogtrotter.
Great.
The Bog,
Bog.
as Miss Trunchbull calls him. He finishes it, he eats it all, and then burps really loud, I think. And we all love a good burp, but good for Bruce. Good for him.
Good for him.
That cake looked good though to me.
It did. It looked like a good cake.
And I'm not even a big chocolate cake guy.
Yeah. But looked tasty.
It looked so moist, and like I've always wanted to just eat a cake like that. I've never eaten a cake just with my hands.
Maybe when you were one.
I think maybe. I think that might go on a bucket list someday, but not until like I'm, close to death. So just remember this, write this down, everybody.
Okay.
I want to eat a cake with my hands.
Done.
And just go crazy on it.
We'll just get you a smash cake.
I just want to, yeah, because we all kind of, when we get older, we kind of resort to being babies. And so it would make sense for me to just pound that smash cake and just put it in my, you don't have to watch. I just want to do it.
Got it.
So when I'm older, I'm still a young pup right now.
You are.
So, all right. What's your next scene?
Defeating the Trunchbull.
Yeah, and which is kind of split into like two scenes.
Yes.
Because we have like Matilda going back to her house and haunting the house with everything when she gets the doll and she does all the things and moves the painting back and burns Miss Trunchbull's painting. I love that. Just full use of Matilda's telekinesis.
Yeah, very impressive. It's like, think about like some of those shows that we watch, like Stranger Things, or where, using your powers makes you exhausted. Matilda just doesn't matter. She's just existing, and like, yeah, she like has so much power, and she's just like, yep, that's over, and I just go back to my house, and it doesn't exhaust her or anything.
Do you think Matilda could take 11 in a fight?
Well, 11 gets tired pretty quickly. So yeah, potentially. They have the same power.
I like it. I want to see that happen. Matilda versus 11 showdown.
Matilda also is well read, and poor 11 was in a hospital for the first like 10 years of her life. So she's catching up, but I don't know. I still haven't watched the recent season.
She's more into fashion and
she's a teeny bopper.
Yeah, into Mike and her friends.
Yeah. And then you have Matilda, I'm 6.5.
5 then. And then we had the final showdown at the school, which I honestly forgot about. So what in my memory of this movie, I thought everything ended at the Trunchbull's house. And that's where it all ends. But that is not true. She goes back, and the Trunchbull goes to school the next day because she finds the ribbon and is like, I know it's Matilda, but I'm going to single everybody out in this. I'm going to throw a kid out of a window. I'm going to
push all those desks against the wall.
Yeah, push all the desks against the wall, scare the crap out of all these kids, and Matilda just, takes over.
Yeah, she's just like, I got it. But then she pulls that second prank where it's again pretending it's a ghost and like the chalk on the wall.
I
And it's like,
love that. I think
yeah.
that is one of the best things in this movie. Like the way it's shot and everything. The
Mhm.
chalk where in the kids like saying it
Reading it
as
out
it's going
loud.
up. I love that part. And it's kind of scary and it's kind of great because it's at Miss Trunchbull's expense, but I love that scene. I think that's so
Mhm.
good.
It is. And yeah, she's told never do this again. Leave these kids alone. Like, give my house back to my daughter. And she freaks out. She runs out of the room, and then there's just a ton of children there just waiting to just throw food at her, and also water balloons. There was a lot of water balloons too.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of like stuff ready at the house, like
They
ready to
are
go
ready.
for the takeover of this school, and the other teachers don't seem to mind either.
Nope, everyone's in on it.
Even though I don't feel like you ever see another teacher.
That was actually a fun fact. There is Miss Trunchbull, Miss Honey, and then Cookie, the cafeteria lady.
And you never see anybody else.
No other adult in that school.
Cookie seemed like a lunch lady.
Cookie was a lunch lady.
She gave big lunch lady vibes.
Big lunch lady energy.
That's right. A BLLE, big lunch lady energy. And yeah, so she defeats the Trunchbull. And that's still not the end of our movie.
Yeah, because she defeats the Trunchbull and she's hanging out with Miss Honey at Miss Honey's house.
Mm-hmm. Which is her dad's house.
Now back at the big house.
Mm-hmm.
And this entire time, there's a thread throughout the movie that Matilda's dad is being investigated by cops because he sells stolen automobile parts, and he's wanted. And he's like, we're moving to Guam because he knows that the cops are onto him. And Matilda convinces her abusive parents to let Miss Honey adopt her, and they agree. And they live Miss Honey and Matilda live happily ever after in the big fancy house, reading all their books, and she gets a nice mom and not a mean mom, and it's great.
and she uses her powers for good.
She doesn't use them. Well, that was like a piece at the end that
she doesn't use them much anymore. Yeah.
So she doesn't have because it's not. She doesn't have to. She's not angry. She's not fueled by fear and anger.
She doesn't have to kill Bill. She has to just live, I guess. Actual best part of this movie is Pee Wee Herman working for the FBI. I do love the Paul Rubens cameo. I guess it's not really a cameo, but
it's just a role.
Just a role he's playing. It's always weird to see Paul Rubens show up in a movie and not be Pee Wee Herman. Anything else that we missed? I mean, there were a couple little things in there that we probably missed, like the newt scene, where your favorite character, Lavender, puts the newt in Miss Trunchbull's water. She thinks it's a snake.
It's great. Lavender's just like in the corner.
Lavender has like the voice of a
Froggy from
7-year-old, but then it sounds like Froggy from Little Rascals. I'm like, who is this? I think it's like this is what Eartha Kitt sounded like when she was a child.
It's baby Eartha Kitt.
It's exactly. You will take me to the top of the mountain.
Madame Zeroni.
Yeah, that's Lavender. Any other scenes? If you have other scenes that we missed in this, please put them in the chat. We'll definitely shout those out, but we'll move forward with some of our other categories. Speaking of Lavender, and I'm sure maybe you have Lavender here, but who is your favorite character, or was there a scene stealer, somebody that you wanted to give some cred to?
Yeah, Lavender was my scene stealer. I actually wasn't able to pick a favorite character because I feel like a lot of the characters were kind of fun in their own unique ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like Matilda is precious. I see a lot of myself in Matilda. Like 6-year-old Alyssa and 6-year-old Matilda would have been besties. I I like Danny DeVito and his wife's characters. Like
Yeah.
they are like, I mean, they're awful, but they are very funny
Yeah.
and silly. And then of course Miss Honey is like anytime she's on screen, it just lights up the screen because of her character. So like I picked Lavender as my scene stealer, but I had a hard time picking a true favorite character.
Yeah, I really like I like Matilda. I've always liked Mara Wilson. She's been adorable in every movie that she's in, whether it's Mrs. Doubtfire, which is one that we've done, Miracle on 34th Street. She's cute in that movie. She just seems like a very smart, intelligent, like she seems like a Matilda. Like that seems like
Yes.
her. And I think she's adorable and awesome in all of those movies. That, you know, when I was a 6-year-old, she was a 6-year-old. And so I was like, I think she's cute. So I had a little childhood crush on Mara Wilson. Back in the day.
I did like looking into like the movies and stuff that she was in Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm like, oh yeah, she's the one who gets to say diarrhea forever.
And we're his kids too. That's my favorite. Oh, she's so cute in Mrs. Doubtfire.
She is.
Of course I love Miss Honey. Miss Honey she's it. Like,
and Mrs. Honey invented cottagecore. Mrs. Honey with her little glasses.
Slutty little glasses. Like
Those are trendy.
I mean, that's a thing right now for like men and their little slutty little glasses. Miss Honey started it. Yeah, I think. You said that that's like a gif of her like.
Oh, I have seen that. Just like hello.
And chat, I agree. Miss Honey, I mean, she got it going on. We know what's going on with Miss Honey. Talk about childhood
and she's
crush.
Nice.
And she's nice. She's kind. She's a little timid. She's a little scared.
Mm-hmm.
She's very scared. She's like, but she's very much like, I live my life in my $50 a month cottage, and I'm doing great. I'm having a great time. My aunt really doesn't bother me that much until she it's really Matilda's fault. Miss Honey was fine living her life. And then Matilda comes along and she's like, ooh, a smart kid. Let me Sorry. Chat just said, I bet Cookie can throw it back. I'm not doing an F, Marry, Kill with any of these characters, by the way, just to set you all up for disappointment later. No, Matilda and Miss Honey, obviously. Lavender's cute. I agree with you. I think Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman's characters the Wormwood parents are great. Like, so funny. Their banter back and forth. You can tell they love each other, though.
Mm-hmm.
They don't love anybody else.
No. They're cool with their oldest kid.
Well, they didn't want a girl. They didn't want another one.
But they call him like Honey Bunch and like Love of My Life. Like they're always calling each other pet names.
Yeah. So they just, didn't want that second child, but they love their first child a lot. Want to hand over the business to him when he gets there.
12 or however old he is.
All right, let's talk about some of the lines that stick out, some favorite quotes from this movie.
I've got a couple. One's a good one for when Matilda is born. They get the hospital bill and he goes, $5,000. I'm not paying it. What are they going to do? Repossess the kid? And I was like, he thinks in cars. And I thought that was funny from Mr. Wormwood. I've got another one from Mr. Wormwood. Why would you want to read when you have the television set sitting right in front of you? There's nothing you can get from a book that you can't get from a television faster.
I mean, I don't disagree. I'm kind of on Harry's side here. I love reading too. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It is. You're not wrong. And Mrs. Wormwood is on the phone talking about her kids, and she says, mine are driving me crazy. I'll tell you, 6 hours a day at school is not enough. And Matilda goes, I'll say.
I like the whole 6.5, 4 scene. I love the back and forth that they have when she's like, Daddy, I'm 6.5. She's like, you're 4. And then she goes to the mom and she's like, how old is Matilda? She says, she's 4. She says, Mom, I'm 6.5. She's like, 5 then.
5 then.
5 then. I love Carla. Uh,
I've got two from Trunchbull too.
yeah.
Trunchbull says, I cannot for the life of me understand why small children take so long to grow up. I think they do it deliberately just to annoy me. And then she had another one that like stuck out. I was when watching the movie, I was like, oh, okay. She said, am I wrong? I'm never wrong. In this classroom, in this school, I am God. I was like, okay, you're crazy.
I have a couple from Trunchbull too. You got one of mine. But after the kids spelled difficulty with the Mrs. D, Mrs. I, she said, why are all these women married? Which is very funny. And then Agatha says, they're all mistakes, children. Filthy, nasty things. Glad I never was one.
Which is so silly.
But I think that Miss Trunchbull would be praised these days. You know, she's a woman that knows that she doesn't want to be a mom. She's an independent. She doesn't need a man. She doesn't need a relationship. She's an independent woman.
She's an athlete.
She's an athlete. And
I don't understand people who like if we're comparing our villains, right?
which we will.
Right, Cruella DeVille
Mm-hmm.
loves fur and loves fashion and went into the fashion industry. Makes a lot of sense. You know, Tim Curry wanted to be a pirate, became a pirate. For Miss Trunchbull, why would someone who despises children so much become an educator?
The power.
You could get power elsewhere, I feel.
Yeah, but kids are so easy to, I mean, I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
I'm smart, you're dumb.
It just kind of works.
I guess. I will never understand I've had teachers in the past who were just didn't like kids, and I'm like, I will never understand going into a field that you hate.
I mean, and it seems like based on the story that Miss Honey tells, like Trunchbull's always been this way with any of our teachers that we went to school with and everything. Because like I had a teacher that reminds me so much of Miss Trunchbull. Mm-hmm. She was my Spanish teacher that like just. I do not feel like that woman liked children, teenagers, anything. But she had also been teaching for, 30 years by the time I got there. So like I would have been a little bit more sympathetic towards Miss Trunchbull if she actually liked children in the beginning and then soured on them, as I imagine most teachers get to that point where they're just like, I don't want to do anything with these people.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why? You could have picked any job.
Yeah. So, but it seems like she's never liked children, whereas some of the other ones have.
Yeah.
So, what else? Other quotes?
I only had the one more, and it was from Mr. Wormwood, and it was also from Miss Trunchbull, and it's the I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm big, you're little, I'm right, you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You little wiseacre.
You little wiseacre.
I have two more. Because I had the Harry Wormwood one there. But the narrator says everyone is born, but not everyone is born the same. Some will grow to be butchers or bakers or candlestick makers. Some will only be really good at making Jell-O salad. One way or another, though, every human being is unique for better or for worse. I don't know. I like that. Yeah. And then Miss Honey says all grown-ups get scared just like children. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, they do. Grown-ups are allowed to get scared too.
If Miss Honey says so.
That's right. All right. Biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill. What moments hit the hardest emotionally for you?
I had a couple. The thrill I mentioned earlier was breaking into Trunchbull's house. I genuinely was like, they're gonna get caught. They're gonna get caught. They're gonna get caught. I know, whenever I watch a movie, it's, like the first time I've ever watched a movie, and I'm just like, what's going to happen? And like, I genuinely thought that they were going to get caught. So that was a bit thrilling. I also had a laugh, why are all these women married? That was a very funny line. So I didn't have it in my quotes. I just had it in the laugh. But I had the other laugh, which was the kids calling her the Trunchbull.
The Trunchbull.
Like, not Mrs. Trunchbull, it's the Trunchbull. Like, and I was like, that's just like a funny recurring bit. They also like they don't call her like the Trunch. Like it's the
Yeah,
Trunch. It's
the
just instead of
Trunchbull.
Mrs. Trunchbull, it's just the Trunchbull. And I just thought that was very funny for some reason in my dumb brain.
No, I think it's super funny. Bruce Bogtrotter, whenever she said, like, after he eats that first piece of cake, she says, "How was that?" And he goes, "My mom's is better," which I'm like, get her, Bog, get her. You already said one of mine, which was the Moby Dick part where she says she's reading Moby Dick, and he goes, "Moby, what?" Never would have gotten that as a kid. Never understood it as a kid, but it's very funny now. And then when Matilda's dad walks in and his wife is sitting there with the FBI agents and says, "What is this, a hot tub party? Get the hell out of here. I slave all day and you're entertaining a couple of surfer dude bodybuilders."
They're just like these scrawny dudes.
Just dudes. And the whole like running bit that Matilda, one of the things I like about Matilda is that because these are her parents, she is like, she doesn't like them all the time, but she keeps telling them, she gives them the like, hey, these people are cops. They've been sitting out there the whole time. I'm trying to help you, save you. Like, you guys just aren't listening, because she knows those are that's my family.
And they're never going to listen. So she's like, they're cops.
Yeah, those are cops.
Matilda's ACAB.
Aren't we all? Any other laugh, cry, scares, or thrills? All right. Any WTF moments for you?
I have several. We've talked about a couple, the cake eating scene and the child abuse in general. Like, again, I don't understand like why Miss Trunchbull doesn't just quit her job and do something different. But like watching a movie that is like everyone is abusing children, like the parents and the principal. I'm like, this is a lot, and it was better than Major Pain, but I was also like, this is tough. There's also specifically under under the child abuse bit where Trunchbull grabs Miss Honey's arm, and we know that that's her aunt now. And she goes, "I broke your arm once, and I'll do it again." And I go, "Oh, that's a throwaway line that comes with a very heavy hand." And I'm like, I mean, you break, you'll be investigated for child abuse if a kid shows up with a broken arm in a way that's unexplainable, right? Like that, I know families that's happened to, where something happened and the kid got taken away because they just came home with a broken arm. We don't know how. So I was like, I was like, that's bad. Like, no, it wasn't just like mentally abusive. It was very physically abusive. So like to a broken bone. So I was like, oh, that's not a throwaway line. That's a thing. That's bad. But I digress. There was just all that kind of fell under that. Do you have anything to like add to those before I get into my other bit?
No, we already talked about one of mine, which was the renting for $50 a month from a lovely rhubarb farmer, which is so ridiculous. Like, I would love that kind of rent.
Yes. I have one more, and it's not like, it's just kind of like a plot hole a little bit to me. The parents immediately being cool with giving Matilda to Miss Honey. Like, just because they're abusive does not mean that they I mean from the beginning they've hated Matilda.
I was about to say, they didn't want Matilda at all.
But they were just like, okay.
They literally left a child in the car. That was a part of this movie at the very beginning. Yeah, they, so that doesn't fly.
Yeah, and but also Miss Honey being like, yeah, I'll adopt Matilda. Like, obviously they have a connection, like, because Matilda's super smart and Miss Honey wants to invest in her as a student. But it's very fun. Like, oh, we'll just pass the kid along. Like, I understand that's like the whole like the happy ending, but I was like, this is insane. That like we acknowledge how insane this ending is.
But I love that Matilda has the adoption papers ready and that she's had them for a long time. Just waiting on some nice person to come along to where she's like, adopt me, please.
Yes, literally anyone else.
Anybody, please come and save me.
Yes, which I also don't think it would happen that quickly. There's I think more paperwork that needs to happen.
Nope, just some signatures and we're good. The only other thing, like just thinking of it, 96 is a different time. obviously it's 30 years ago, but still, little Matilda walking to the library every day. It gave me big whatever that Japanese show was, where the kids like go grocery shopping and everything. That's what I thought of Matilda. I was like, she would thrive on that show. She would
Yes.
definitely be doing all the laundry, the cooking, and all that. Like she would be doing everything.
Well, I think that also speaks to the abuse and that her parents neglect her so much that the only way she's going to get to the library is walking herself. And nobody seems to care about her or watch out for her except for the librarian. She's like, "How did you get here? And what are you doing? You read all the books, and what are you doing?" And
Yeah.
like invests in her a little bit. And it's like, "You can take these books home." But she's like, "What are you
And,
doing here all day, every day?"
and instead of that woman finding out more or learning more and calling CPS, she was just like, "No, I'll just let her read.
Yeah.
She's fine."
That's why I'm like, the adults, other like Miss Honey is the only like relatively sane person in this whole movie, and that is doesn't mean she is.
Yeah, because Miss Honey, did Miss Honey ever say like, does Miss Honey ever say like, I wish I had a daughter or I wish I had a kid?
No.
So Matilda just was like, hey, will you adopt me?
Yes, straight up. Which she did say, like, teaching's everything that I have. Like why? Because Matilda's like, why don't you run away? Why do you stay at like within vicinity of Miss Trunchbull? And she's like, because teaching is everything to me. And I guess that implies that she loves children and she loves school and teaching the kids at school. But yeah, she's never like, I want a family or I want a child. Like Miss Honey isn't. There's no romantic interest. There's no like the idea of building a family. She's just vibing.
And chat does raise a good point about Guam and them going to Guam. I don't know if it's. I think it can be explained away. Maybe it is a plot hole, but it can be explained away in the fact that her family's stupid too, and they don't realize that Guam is a U.S. territory and that they're going to get caught there too. So I think you could explain. I don't think it was made like intentional, but I think you could say, "Oh, this just shows how stupid everybody is around Matilda." So, yeah. Oh, you just put that in the chat too. Thank you. So, my bad. Anything else from the WTF moments? If you have any other moments that you were like, oh, that's a little bit ridiculous, put it in the chat, please, and we'll read it. Anything else from you? Good. Best music moment.
Oh, I completely forgot about the music moment. I knew I was missing something.
Well, there's only 2 songs on this soundtrack.
The ending? Is it the ending that we were listening to?
There's Send Me on My Way. Yes. On the way. Which is
that one.
Which is like one of the best 90s songs of all time, in my opinion, by Rusted Root. And then Itty Bitty Pretty One. This is a scene we did not talk about. Which is her discovering her powers and like using her powers. There was like a TikTok trend a couple years ago where people were having people like flick the lights on and dancing to this song and like moving furniture when they point at it and like they have their friends do it in the background. I remember showing you that and being like, hey, look, Matilda. And you go, I've never seen Matilda. And me being like, okay, let me take that back. But yeah, Itty Bitty Pretty One is pretty like iconic for the film. Even if I do like Send Me on My Way better, it's like, yeah, that specific scene of her doing her little magical powers and just having fun with it and everything. So
yeah,
just point those out. All right, so I skipped over F, Marry, Kill.
That's okay.
But who do you think gave the best performance in this movie?
I went with I went with Danny DeVito.
Okay.
I think like the more that I watch Danny DeVito, the more I really like him. Like all the different movies that we've seen him in, like he is silly, but between Junior, Get Shorty, Matilda, watching Always Sunny, like he is so impressive to me that he can kind of do it all. I mean, it's all in the realm of comedy. And this was, I mean, yes, his role was funny here, but it's also like he's a bad guy. I mean, he's a bad guy in a lot of movies, but he's just like a bad dad. And I don't know. I think he was the most memorable to me. The family was the most memorable to me. I also want to give Mara Wilson a little shout out. Do I think she was like the greatest child actor I've ever seen? No. Do I think she was adorable? Absolutely. And I thought she did a really. I thought like she is Matilda. Like I don't know. I can't think of another kid to play Matilda. She just embodied her in a way, and I thought that
Mhm.
so they're like my top two picks.
Yeah. I I I love the Danny DeVito talk because he really is a
And he
special
produced it.
and Danny DeVito is a special individual because of stuff like that. Like he is a very like supportive film producer.
Hmm.
Pulp Fiction doesn't really exist if Danny DeVito doesn't exist. And then there are several things that like Always Sunny doesn't really keep going until Danny DeVito does this. So like him just, seeing projects and being very passionate about them, he's great. He's hilarious. He's been in a lot of our movies that we've done over the
Yeah.
last few years. So we had Get Shorty, Junior, um, Renaissance Man,
Oh yeah.
Matilda, a lot of movies that we've done here in the 90s.
There
He's a big
was a
part of.
there was a Letterboxd review that was like Danny DeVito did Pulp Fiction, then decided he could do better. And it was like a 5-star rating of Matilda, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah. Chat going crazy with their F Mary kills over here. And people really excited about Cookie. Cookie reminds me of BSG in the chat. BSG, she reminds me of the lunch lady from Billy Madison. So maybe that's why you have an affinity for her. She's kind of the same person. But yeah, I think that Danny DeVito is great. I went with Pam Ferris as my best performance as the Trunchbull. To really like commit to just being ugly and hated. And like, I think in a villain role, you can really ham it up.
Yeah, she did
And,
great. It is a
and
great villain. Like scary and funny at the same time, which
yeah.
for a kid, like you need both.
And I appreciate Trunchbull. Like obviously she's the villain of this, but I appreciate the performance and Trunchbull more now that I'm older than when I was a kid, because she's just a scary villain to me as a kid. But then you get all the little lines that she says in between, like how much she hates children and why are all these people married? Why are all these women married? So I love those little lines that she has and everything. That's good writing too from the screenplay here. But yeah, I think she's great and really gives the movie what and Danny DeVito and her both being kind of villains in this movie kind of shows what they can do, just being mean.
Yeah.
All right. Recasting. I had a little fun with this. I hope you did too. Did you do any 96 recasting or 2026 recasting?
I actually didn't recast any at all.
Oh, okay.
And it was because the Matilda musical movie came out like just a year, and it was like Emma Thompson is the Trunchbull, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm obsessed with Emma Thompson. I would love, and I don't know a lot of child actors. So I said we could bring Danny DeVito back as the dad. Like, I mean, I know he's much older now, but I would keep that ship going. But no, I saw the cast for the musical movie for what was that, 2023? I think that came out, and I was like, I think I would just keep it as is.
Yeah, I have not seen the musical. I did recast some couple for 96, just in 96 and 2026. I think the cast is great. I think Beth Davids as Miss Honey is iconic. But if I were going to cast her, especially around that time, I thought maybe Leah Thompson, who her in Little Rascals. She's the ballet teacher in Little Rascals.
Oh, okay, that'd be a good one.
Or Kristen Davis, who plays the boring one of the 4 Sex and the City characters, the dark-haired one, the prissy, I can't remember what her name is. Charlotte, yeah, Charlotte. I think I was like, she gives me real Miss Honey energy, like just very sweet and wholesome, and doesn't know what anything is. Not Samantha. Samantha can't be trusted with anybody. So, and then when we were
Samantha would be a great mom.
Yeah. I could see that.
Samantha could play the mom character.
Yeah. when we were watching this, I said Miss Trunchbull reminds me of Miss Blovridge from Muppet Treasure Island, which we watched, at the beginning of the year. That actress's name is Jennifer Saunders. And she kind of like uglified herself in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, she could have been Miss Trunchbull at this time.
Mm-hmm.
For 2026, I'm ready for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Gwendolyn Christie as Miss Trunchbull. Do you know who Gwendolyn Christie is? She plays the principal in the first season of Wednesday. The very
Oh,
tall, blonde
yeah.
woman. She was Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. She's got the build for it.
Yeah, she's tall. She's like
Yeah.
6+ feet.
Yeah, I want to say like 6'4".
Yeah, she is tall, and she is a great principal, like strict.
Yeah.
But I think she could go crazy in 2026.
And
That's a great.
they could uggify her too in that because she's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great pool.
Yeah. Daisy Ridley, who is best known for being Rey in the new Star Wars movies, would be Miss Honey. And then because she is one of the only little children actors I know, the little girl that played Lilo in the new Lilo and Stitch movie, Maya
Aw,
Aloha.
she's cute.
Yeah, she's super cute. And I think she could do it. It'd be cute.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
agree.
all the other ones, I was like, I don't know any like 8-year-olds actresses. If this was done like 10 years ago, there's this little actress out there from the show American Housewife. Her name's Julia Butters. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That little actress, she's awesome. I hope she has a great career because she's great. She's so funny. But those were mine. If
Nice.
you have it, if you all have any suggestions in the chat, please put them out there. And we'll read those out loud. I know there's like a 30-second delay or so we might not get those for a second. But if you have them, put them out there. Now it's time to move on to some of our fun facts, behind-the-scenes stories, production trivia. And I already saw chat talking a little bit about what we'll probably get into. So I'll let you start.
Yeah, so I guess right off the bat, Mara Wilson's mother died of breast cancer during the filming of this movie. The adults really rallied around her while it was filming, like, and even during, like, when her dad was working and her mom was getting treatments. Danny DeVito and his what's his wife, the mom's name, Zinnia.
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah, so Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman were just like basically babysitting her, like just hanging out at her house, playing with her, hanging out with her the entire time. One thing Mara Wilson said was that she like regretted that her mom never got to see the final cut of the movie, and Danny DeVito revealed that he actually showed it to her like privately before her passing. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like just so the reading about, and like this kind of plays into what I said about like the Danny DeVito's performance, like reading about him being the director, him doing the narrator, him being the dad, and then everything he did behind the scenes. I'm like, this guy rocks.
And for her to finish this movie, like this kid, like Mara Wilson as a
Yeah.
child, however old, 8 years old or however old she is during this, I think she's my age. So, she like, and your mom is sick the whole time. And like, thankfully, Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman are there to help her out. But gosh, like going through that and finishing the movie, it's impressive to say the least.
For a little one. Yeah, I'm sure it was not fun, but like, yeah, I'm sure she felt safe on the set. It was work. It was a distraction, like, in the way that we distract ourselves as adults. Like, I'm sure that played a role in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to keep going? Do you want to
keep
go back
going.
and forth?
Keep going.
Okay. So Mara Wilson again was super self-conscious about dancing to Little Bitty Pretty One. So Danny DeVito had the entire cast and crew dance with her on set.
That's cute.
Which is precious. I guess it was originally to the song Matilda, but then it didn't really fit, so they put the Little Bitty Pretty One sound over it.
And it's iconic to this day. So
it
works.
It is iconic. Mara Wilson also designed the homemade doll that Matilda has in the film. Her name is Wanda.
I loved that one. That was a cute
I was like, that raggedy little doll that she has with the crazy red hair. She looks like Cynthia from Rugrats,
Mm-hmm.
but I liked it. I got two more. The picture of Miss Honey's father, Mangus, is a portrait of Roald Dahl, who's the author of Matilda. So I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Pam Ferris, who played the Trunchbull, often stayed in character when the director called cut to scare the children on set so that their fear of Miss Trunchbull would be genuine when the camera was rolling.
That's acting now. That's true acting. That's method. Let me get method. Let me get method to be this. Just destroy these children.
Yes.
I had a lot of the same ones, but
Magnus.
I do have a couple others. Yes, it's Magnus. Spencer.
Sorry.
Spencer just likes to correct people.
My note, I mistyped it in my notes.
The chalk writing scene, the thing that I had talked about earlier. Danny DeVito explained that the effect of chalk writing appearing on its own was they wrote the letters in reverse on the back of the chalkboard. Then they attached a magnet to each piece of chalk and then an individual position behind the. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said hello.
No, I said, oh, wow. The magnet piece. Yeah,
so they attached the magnet to the chalk, and then an individual behind the chalkboard used a device that attracted the magnets to write another magnet to write the backward letters and everything. So
that's cool.
That is super cool. No visual effects needed there. The rules of Crunch'em Hall. I don't know if you all saw them in the background, but first one is no talking. Second one is no laughing. Third one is no whispering. 4, no gum chewing. No late homework. No running in the halls. No pigtails. No eating. No coloring. No praying, no playing, no daydreaming, and no fun. So those are the rules. And I think those are going to be the rules of this podcast moving forward.
The pigtails are great. The whole pigtail scene where she just grabs that child and spins her around. I was like, what is going on? And everyone's cool with it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's a bummer. Yeah, she got trunchbulled. It's like, what? No.
Yeah, I forgot. So the girl with the pigtails, she gets thrown over a fence, and they're just like, I hope she makes it, which infers that other kids have not made it over the fence when she's been thrown.
I know.
And there's like spikes on there. She's probably killed some kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I have another WTF that I just thought of.
Bring it back.
Miss Trunchbull gets away with murder, never to be seen or heard from again. Apparently, Miss Honey doesn't want to say that her dad's been murdered. Even though everybody knows that that's what happened. Like, let's put her in the chair and let's, okay, let's not put her in the chair.
Give her the chair.
Give her the chokey for the rest of her life.
Yes. Also a WTF that we didn't.
Oh, yeah, the chokey is insane.
No.
And then the kid gets, I said defenestration early when we started this, a kid is thrown out of a window early, and then Matilda powers him back inside, which I remember from the trailer, him doing loop-de-loos outside. I remember that. For a couple of my people in chat, Miss Trunchbull's mansion was later used as the Omega Beta Zeta sorority house in Scream 2. Thought that was fun. Because I love Scream and the franchise. That's where Sarah Michelle Gellar's character gets killed in Scream 2. And then Pam Ferris, who again played Miss Trunchbull, she got several injuries during this production. So when the erasers hit her, she had to keep her eyes open. So she got a lot of chalk dust into her eyes, and that caused her to have to go to the hospital multiple times to get her eyes washed out. When she swings the girl by her pigtails, a harness is was used to support the girl. The wires were threaded through Amanda's pigtails and then looped around Pam Ferris's fingertips for a better grip. As she swung Amanda around, the centrifugal force became too intense and injured the top part of her finger, requiring 7 or 8 stitches.
Oh my God.
That sounds insane.
I feel like we could have done something
avoided
different.
that. Yeah, I think so too. And then finally, the last one I have is we kind of talked about this a little bit. At the end of the film, Matilda retains her powers. However, in the
Mhm.
book, she loses those abilities as she moves on to like an older class that challenges her a little bit more intellectually.
Mhm.
And Miss Honey explains that Matilda's loss of powers is due to happiness and focus on
Mhm.
challenging reading and learning rather than being idle and belittled by her family and Miss Trunchbull. So
Mhm.
she does lose her powers in those. Um, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I think we covered all the funnest facts.
Mhm.
Did we mention Darrell's chickens? We did not mention Darrell's chickens. I mean Charles Dickens.
That was a fun fact that she says Darl's chickens because the BFG in the book Roald Dahl's book says it. Um, he calls them Darl's chickens, so it's an ode to the BFG book.
Have you seen BFG?
I've not seen the movie. I read the book as a kid though.
It's on my list because it's a Spielberg movie, and it's one of the like 4 or 5 Spielberg movies I've never seen. So maybe we should
I'd watch
watch
it.
that. Maybe we should. All right. Like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
I have a couple. Some we've already kind of mentioned. Matilda the musical, because obvious reasons, as well as Mrs. Doubtfire to see more Mara Wilson.
Mhm.
I also pulled Harry Potter, a kid who's abused by their parents and discovers they have magical powers. So there's and gets to go to school. So that's a little some parallels there. I also picked Annie.
Mhm.
I think uh, Matilda's parents reminded me of Rooster and his girlfriend, or like it's like Rooster and Miss Hannigan a
Yeah.
little bit. So I pulled Annie. I was like, I thought it was funny.
No, I think that's
Uh,
good.
Focus on a little kid. Even like not Daddy Warbucks, but like Daddy Warbucks' assistant is kind of like a Miss
Like Miss
Honey.
Honey, yeah.
Yeah. And the last one, and walk with me here. This is based on vibes. Is Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay.
We just watched it, so it's kind of top of mind. But I feel like Matilda grows up to be the little girl character. Like that's 5 years down the road for her. Is because again that little girl just like loves to read and doesn't like her parents and finds solace in this this little boy or friendship in a way. I mean
Mhm.
they're in love or whatever, but I feel like the vibe is I feel like I don't know I feel like Matilda and Nice Kingdom would go together for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, I think that's a good one because Wes Anderson loves Roald Dahl and probably would have made a Matilda movie, so it does kind
Yeah,
of fit in the same
I
way.
didn't even think about like him making the Roald Dahl short films, so that is a good combination there. I
Mhm.
saw that I love reading letterboxd reviews, and what the top one was that Matilda would have bodied Book Talk, and
Oh, yeah.
that's I just picture adult Matilda, like 20 something year old Matilda, being a TikTok book influencer and really being into Wes Anderson.
Yeah. She definitely would have done the Wes Anderson trend.
And she would
The
have done it well.
Yes, with all
Yes.
the books. She would have had all the books sitting there. A couple people, or we've got a couple in chat here. Chat says Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for Roald Dahl reasons, and then Like Mike for adoption reasons. As a kid looking to try and get adopted. Um, I had because we just finished watching it. This is a show instead of a movie, even though there is a movie version, but a series of unfortunate events.
Mhm.
Because it does give me like Roald Dahl vibes.
Yeah.
In kind of how it's silly, but it's also super dark. I had Harry Potter listed as well. In response to the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I just had the movie Wonka with Timothy Chalamet. I think that it kind of fits with this. There's a character in there that's named Noodle, who is mistreated. I love Wonka. It is great. It is a musical, but that movie's awesome and wholesome, and I love it. And then for scary reasons and also Roald Dahl reasons, The Witches.
Mhm.
Because when I saw that movie as a kid, I was so scared, and I might still be scared if I watched it to this day. So,
Mhm.
but those are mine.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, let's get to our rewatchability rating. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to throw this on and watch again?
You go first.
I went with 3
Okay.
because of my, this is a nostalgic thing for me. A movie that I will say I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to enjoy. I still like it. I still think it's a really good movie, well-crafted movie,
Hmm.
especially for a kids movie.
Hmm.
It's not talking down to kids and everything. So,
Yeah.
rewatchability 3 for me.
Yeah. I gave it a 2.
Hmm.
I don't have the nostalgia factor. So I'm glad I saw it. I'm happy that I saw it. If I was with somebody who said never saw the movie before, I'd watch it with them. But I don't know if I'm gonna reach for this. I don't know if it was like, I don't want to say cute enough, but I love kids movies. Like when we talk about our recommendations later, I'm going to talk about a kids movie we watched recently. Um but this one I was like, I don't know if I'm going to pull this one again before pulling others.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too. I was like, I gave Hunchback of Notre Dame a pretty low rewatchability rating because that's a pretty tough movie to watch, but I feel like I'd rather pull that one to watch than Matilda.
Yeah.
But
No, I like it, and I figured your rewatchability be. I figured your film rating would be low. So let's go ahead and segue into that. What did you give it overall?
I gave it a 3.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's solid. I know that if I saw this movie as a kid, it would have changed me. Like this would have been one of my favorite movies. I would have watched it over and over and over. It would be a 5-star rating. But because I didn't see it as a kid, I was like, it's good. It's fine. It's not like mind blowing in any way.
Hmm.
I don't love, again, I'm like, no one loves child abuse, but like I don't like when I watch movies that like that is the plot or that's the bad guy,
Yeah.
it's not mystical, it's not like a witch, it's like real. And those are not as fun for me. I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't like this. So but honestly, reading so much about what was going on behind the scenes and the impact it has made on people, that is kind of what made me give it a 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave it, and I went probably a little bit lower than I thought I was going to. I gave it 3.5 stars, because this movie does have a lot of nostalgia for me. I, watched this all the time when I was a kid, but like, there was just something like I don't know if it dragged in a couple spots for me. I don't know. It just didn't have the magic that I remembered it having when I was a kid. So I give it 3.5 stars. But like again, the more I read about it, the more I'm just like, oh, that's really special movie.
Hmm.
And then even some of the technical aspects, like that whole chalk writing thing, is really cool to me. I don't know why, but I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a feel good story behind the scenes and a feel good story on the screen. So 3.5 for me. But
Hmm.
well, Alyssa, we've done it. We've done an entire month of villains for the month of January. We've had. I'm going to go ahead and just say that there's one true villain in this movie with Trunchbull. If you had to rank the villains from worst villain, as in like despicable, like they're I guess the best villain is what we're saying here. Like they were the best at being bad. How would you rank your villains?
Well, I think I'm between 3 and 4
Hmm.
because in my heart I want to give Long John Silver number 4
Hmm.
because I love him. It's Tim
Yeah,
Curry. He's like funny and he's sweet, but that man has murdered someone. Like he has murdered people. He's a true
he
pirate.
shot
He was ready to murder Jim, but he didn't because he has a soft spot.
he shot dead Tom.
Tom's dead. But I'm like, he's technically murdered people, and Cruella Deville only murders animals. I'm not saying that's okay. I am just saying she, as far as we know, has not murdered a human.
Until they're
So
in, and then wearing skin is it until wearing human skin is in, then she'll go after
yikes.
them.
Yeah, but she is more like heartless, callous, doesn't learn a lesson in the end, and Tim Curry and Long John Silver does. So Long John's going to be my number 4. Cruella is going to be my number 3. Trunchbull is number 2 because she's tough, but number 1 is absolutely Frollo. That
Yeah.
guy is bad.
That guy
He's a
is
bad
bad.
dude.
That is a bad man, Savannah.
It's a bad man till the bitter end.
Yeah, Claude Frollo is the absolute number 1 villain of these last 4 movies. Like, yeah, he's a murderer. He's a
Abuser,
an assaulter. Like, that guy's got it all going for him, and he is truly the best villain.
all in the name of God.
Yeah, and Trunchbull has murdered somebody too.
Yes, she's murdered at least one person.
The only non-murderer is Cruella de Vil. Probably.
Yes.
We don't know if Long John we don't have any proof. He's a pirate, so we could kind of assume like that he's killed somebody. I mean, in the book, technically, he murders Mr. Arrow. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Now, which one would you rather? Which one would you hang out with? Is it Long John?
Oh, Long John.
Yeah.
I would hang out with Cruella though. That would be like a great brunch.
Yeah.
Like she's showing up in a fur coat. She's ready for her mimosas. She's ready to talk shit. Cruella seems like a fun time.
Yeah.
Seems like a fun brunch friend.
Yeah. Dog murder is murder. You're right. Murder's murder. And murder's murder on this show. So she's a bad. But I agree with Alyssa's ranking. I think that's the only true ranking that we can do here. Because yeah, reasons. But I want to hang out with Tim Curry, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're singing. Yeah, there's singing pirates. There's choreographed numbers. We're gonna join a brotherhood.
And Miss Piggy saw something in him.
I get it.
I mean, now her taste might not be the best, but it is Miss Piggy. So
it's Miss Piggy. She likes a pirate. She likes a seafaring man.
She does. So yeah, if you agree with us, I don't really care. If you don't agree with us, I don't care either. So whatever. Those are our rankings.
I'm right, you're wrong. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little.
I am big and you're little. So get out of here. Alyssa, thank you. I hope you enjoyed doing all these villain movies with me this month. We'll see you again in some other months as we continue down our path. I kind of like this. I kind of like doing 4 in a row with people. So I might keep this up and keep this going here. So thank you, Alyssa, for hanging out and talking movies and watching all these movies with me. Before I wrap up, though, can I get a recent movie recommendation from you?
Sure thing. We watched Meet the Robinsons yesterday.
Had not seen this movie. I had not seen this movie.
Underrated Disney movie. Definitely came out like 2007. Disney wasn't putting out a lot of winners, or at least what they considered to be winners, but there's a lot of like cult followings on some of the movies that came out around this time. And I just think it's very cute. It's about a kid who's an inventor. He's imaginative and gets pulled. Someone from the future comes and finds him and takes him to the future to fix things. And it's a very cute. It's a solid time. It is solid. I think it's a solid Disney movie.
Yes, I liked this movie. I think I didn't watch it. I was in college when the time this came out, but I think this comes after like what's the Chicken Little and Bolt and like those movies that were, even like Princess and the Frog comes out during this part and it's just overlooked. Like this is just a time period with Disney where it's like all their money is invested in Pixar and they don't really care about their animation studios as much as they did. And I really do think that Meet the Robinsons was good. I was impressed. I had a great time with that. It was very original and fun, and there's a character in there that I loved. And
very rarely do I get to recommend a movie that you have not seen and I have, and you really like it.
I liked it. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that movie a lot. So good recommendation. If you haven't seen Meet the Robinsons, check it out. It's a good one. Anything else?
Nope.
Well, if you want to keep that conversation going or other conversations, we talk about the Oscars as they're coming up. Those nominations just came out. Join our Discord. We've got a couple different channels in there for you to talk about certain things. Would love to grow that and grow some more, friends and fans along the way, and have discussions in there. You can also follow us on Instagram, where I post the dates and times that we'll do these, or you can check out the Letterboxd to check out any reviews and see what I've been watching lately. We finished our villains month here, but next week we're starting our new theme, which is called I'll Have What She's Having, which is a slight deviation of our typical February month, where we typically do like rom-coms and everything. These are going to be a little bit darker twist. There are probably some trigger warnings ahead of us. So be cautious, be careful whenever I recommend these movies to watch with us. Next week, we are going to be doing David Cronenberg's Crash. I have to be very specific on this. This is Crash that is from 1996, not 2004. So do look at this one up. This is not the one that's all about racism and things like that. This one is much different. Basically, this next month is all going to be about sex and things in it. So trigger warning ahead of time for some of you out there. We'll be live Sunday, February 1st at 5 p.m. So jot that down. And thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on 52/1996. Let's hit that outro.
We spun the reel through desert storms and courtroom cries. Love letters burned, planes went down, truth hid behind the lies. From snowbound crimes in Fargo streets to agents running wires, we laughed with Gilmore, screamed in masks lit, theaters on fire. It's 52/1996, let the credits roll tonight. Good movies, bad movies, all of them in the same rewind. 1 year, 1 week, every frame gets its time to shine. We'll see you next story on 52/1996.